Through.
Peace, MikeAll of the Headucatorz coming through with Studio 1332. About to have a nice convo and conversation with Galaxy Gal for nizewhat, trying to keep our minds up as we rise like the sun. About conversations about art, life, just reality. Come through and have a good conversation of creativity. Peace.
We're here. It's 1332. We're at 1332 in Scarborough, and it's nizewhat time. I'm Darrell the Galaxy, and we are here with
MikeAll from the HipHop Headucatorz.
Jeez, peace to you, MikeAll. How are you doing?
Very good. Happy to build and have another cool conversation with you.
I'm very grateful that you came back. It's been a year since the last time you were here, and we spoke a lot about, hip-hop culture, just even children and them growing up, and influences about music, things like that. And I'm so excited to talk to you about a few things. But before we start, I want to ask you, there's so many amazing albums on this wall, y'all, like from the top to the bottom. I want to know what's your favorite, or what stands out the most?
Most def. Yeah, I gotta shout out Studio 1332. The ambiance is just sparking creativity. They got some cool artwork of artists in creation, and there's a cool wall with a lot of vinyl. And shout out, I see the Galaxy Gal cover art there. Love matters. Dark love matters. Of course it does.
Jeez.
Yo, CanCon. We gotta keep it CanCon. This is Checkmate from the west coast of Canada, Vancouver. Would You Die? I think that's a lead single or a second single off of his, I think it's called Something About the Game, Welcome to the Game. Dope album. West Coast hip hop, Concise, the Black Knights on it. Those guys do songs with the Rascals. So that number one stuck out to me because of Canadian content. And Beat Nuts, those guys are like bananas with the production, man. Juju, Psycho Les, and R.I.P. P, Sean Price.
Jeez,
this guy's a monster on the microphone.
P. Not your friend.
Guy gets the award for the most improved rapper because, no disrespect, but when it was Helter Skelter, Rock got most of the attention and the shine. But afterwards, when Sean P went solo, he's like, yo, I have something to prove. And he got the most improved MC award ever, I would say. Shout out to Dub C, West Coast. Oh, some Donny Hathaway, wow.
Donny Hathaway. Some nostalgia kicking in, eh?
Yes. Yeah, that would be the main ones that stick out to me.
Awesome, dope. Yeah, and the thing about it is so cool. It's like a time, music to me is like a time machine. So you have something as modern as Cash Money versus something like Donny Hathaway, which I love. It shows the amalgamation of music, the correlation, connection of music and stuff.
Yes.
I want to start off with you, Mike, about talking about Headucatorz, and I know we spoke a little bit about it last year.
Yes.
But I would love to know more about the people involved. I know there's different types of people, like producers, DJs, MCs. You guys have your own multifaceted way of coming together. What was the main drive, or who even just created the idea to come together and make this happen?
Shout out to the Headucatorz. This is our debut album, Head of the Class. You can check it on all streaming platforms. And if you are a physical head, we do have CDs. HipHop Headucatorz came about because of the natural connection between hip-hop and education. Being a teacher, being into hip-hop, I would always go to certain events, and I would run into people who were also hip-hop heads and happened to be teachers. And after I did a couple of my solo albums, I'll take you through a little journey with MikeAll. So 2008, my first solo CD, Mic Check. Shout out to Fenny Crystal. I recorded that in his recording studio at Mornell Court. 2015, Mic Support. This one I went to a professional studio, Phase 1 in Scarborough. Shout out to Dejan. And then 2018, MikeAll, also recorded with Dejan, but at his home studio. So that was my vision, to just do a little album trilogy. And after that, no more albums, just maybe singles. So I did a couple singles, and one concept was in my mind, it would be cool to do a song where everybody on the song, in all aspects, was a teacher. From the beat maker, to all the rappers, to the DJ doing the cuts, and the guy who did the cover artwork. Shout out to Tiggs. So yeah, I got it a couple people I knew. Icon, he's our beat maker. I got it a couple MCs who work with my board and other boards. Our one dude, Sev, he recruited A Cubed. I met John Corbin through Indigenous educator that I met at Reading for the Love of It. I got at Chase March to do DJ cuts through Facebook, a recommendation. I had asked for a DJ that's also a teacher, and Chase March's name came up. And Chase March was like, yo, can I rap on it too? and he played his dope demo for his son, Gizmo's Lullaby. And then I was like, yeah, man, you can get on it for sure. And his verse was like a mission statement for teaching, really powerful. The guy Tiggs, who did the artwork, initially my thought was just like, I'm just gonna get at him to just do the cover art. And then Wisecrack, who's really always encouraging people to rhyme, he was getting at Tiggs. He's like, yo, why don't you rhyme? Why don't you rhyme? And at first I was like, I don't know, the song's kind of long, because at that point it already had 2 MCs, chorus, 2 MCs, 2 MCs. And I wasn't hating, but I was just thinking of song structure. But Wisecrack's like, no, man, let him write. And then when we heard Tiggs' verse, we're like, yo, it has to be on it. Tiggs has to spit. And he stepped up like as like a hidden talent, because he's mostly a graffiti artist, but he had been cultivating some rap inside, but just never really got the chance to let it out. So shout out to Wisecrack for giving him that push. So that was 2019, Each One Teach One. We came together for that one single, that one song. And then we had so much fun doing it. And we realized the potential of hip-hop education, how we could use it in the classroom. We could make lessons from our songs. And we all collectively agreed like, yo, let's not make it a one-off. Let's keep going. Let's make more songs. Let's make lessons to go with our songs. And then the movement kept expanding and grew from there. It was 8 dudes. Then naturally, John Corbin, his daughter, was like, how come it's only guys? Like, half of the population isn't being represented. And then John Corbin, he knew Helen the Apologette through spoken word. And he had got at her and asked her, yo, would you be willing to evolve your poetry into rap form? And she came through and she took many a track, she killed it. DJ Icon, he got at Matt Device, the teacher in Peel, to be our b-boy, to represent the breaking element for our videos. And then eventually we just added 2 more teachers from the high school in TCDSB, Nets and Racy, who are actually a couple. They're a married couple. So now we stand as 12 disciples, 12 months, 12 hours, a complete number.
Woo! That's an incredible story filled with passion and organic connection.
Yes.
Just the love for music, the love for culture, the love for education, and you coming together to make it happen. And speaking of making it happen, you guys have a new YouTube channel.
Most of our previous content was designed more for like grades 4 to you could say 12, so junior intermediate. But again, growing out of this organically, Wisecrack, he just took on a new job of teaching multiple exceptionalities, working with children with autism, severe special needs that can't be integrated too much in the classroom. So our raps that we normally do were too advanced. We have to make something a little bit more simplistic and basic. And Chase March, who builds with his child and is into like that type of style, always wanted to do a more younger focused album. So everything aligned, and we made this new album, Headucatorz, KIDS. There's a sub channel for it. It's about 9 videos, 9 songs, all aimed towards like a primary kindergarten age. Basic concepts like numbers, the alphabet, colors, days of the week, counting time, in a fun, simplistic, sing-songy nursery type rhyme way, but still hip hop, still always hip hop.
Still hip hop, which I love. I listen to them,
cool.
And I love the number counting one.
It's counting time.
I love that one. I love how you guys start from 1 through 9,
yes.
And then you continue to 10 and 20, but the main numbers of 9. I love that, and I also love the vowel song.
Thank you.
Because it's like you're teaching children too about breath and the importance of breath and vowels at the same time. Yes. And I think that's important for like even bilingual children or children who might just study more than one language. True. It's good. But y'all, there's so many different songs on there. I know there's only 9, but it feels like it's a whole album, literally. And each song is so educational for your children. So if you have little children, like, you know what I'm saying?
Check it out. You can play that for them. Headucatorz from top to bottom. They can learn, sing along with them, and your learning will be more fun.
Yes, and they'll grow and evolve, and like you said, it'll be more fun. Because I also feel like music, right? I was gonna ask you, very like outside of left field from Headucatorz, but what is your process like when you're writing music? Like, where are you? Is it always different, or do you go to a specific zone when you're inspired and writing music?
Usually like a concept comes to me, and I'm always creating lines in my head. Lines and rhymes are always happening, and I would write down random lines. I have like in my phone, I have a subfolder with like I call them scars. That's from childhood talk with my elementary boys. But I'm always, if I catch a line anywhere on the bus, in the gym, whatever, even in the shower, when I get out the shower, then I record it in my phone. But when I actually have a concept, I like to first have the beat, and I like to sit with the beat and just let it play over and over again. And I write while the beat's playing. And sometimes I'll stop the beat just to make sure, I can focus on the words and then put the beat back on.
I love that.
Thank you.
That. So when it comes to your newest song, I Am C,
Yes.
featuring, I don't want to mispronounce
Yes.
his name.
Fenny Cristo, that's formerly Fenaxis, and I'll say this quickly, there's no MikeAll without Fenny Cristo, formerly Fenaxis. Back in high school, when we were looking for somebody to make beats for us, grade 11, 12, just kids rhyming in our neighborhood, we didn't have a beat maker or someone to record. Through mutual friend, through driving school, we met Fenaxis, now Fenny Cristo, and he agreed to, out of the love of his heart, all free, make all our beats, record us in his bedroom studio. So I like to say Fen plugged MikeAll in. There's no microphone MikeAll without Fenny Cristo. He plugged me in. So yeah, and that beat was gifted to me on my birthday. I just woke up one day on my birthday and Icon randomly uploads beats, and it happened to be timestamped dated on my birthday. So I'm listening to the beat and it sounded dope. And Icon was the one who came with the concept. He said, maybe make a song that explains what it is to be an MC, what the history of it is. And of course I had to take it back to Africa because we know the griot, Jamaican oral traditions of toasting, all of these things are the foundation for the MC, or what it should be. So originally it was just me. I wrote my 2 verses, whatever. Icon got it. This next guy, DJ Stutter, to do some cuts. And then Icon always wanted to work with Fenny Cristo. They have collabed, but Fenny's never been on a Headucatorz song. So Icon was like, yo, ask Fen to get on. And I asked him, I said, okay, talk about your personal love of history, but also the Filipino cultural connections. And there's things like, he did his research, he learned, there's things like Blagastan, which was poetic debates, which is a battle type of thing, so other cultures have similar ways that they sharpen their sword mentally. So Fenny came with a dope verse, and shout out to the team DQ, J3, that's Kjo and Queenie. Queenie did the videography, and Kjo did the editing, directing, and I think that's one of our best videos. It really came out good.
Oh, yeah.
IMC.
Yeah, it did come out good. I'm going to leave the link in the description for y'all to see the music video and for you to actually take in the song because it's going to inform you on different things. I have the understanding of toast and where it comes from. Do you think you can break that down for the people that might not know?
Well, firstly, number one, we take it back to Africa, all life. Started off in Africa. And some West African cultures didn't have the written language. Not saying that they weren't literate, they just didn't have it written down yet. So they had griots, Griot, who were oral historians, kind of like the bards in Europe, etc. And they would travel around over drums, djembe drums, reciting the history, the oral traditions. Through transatlantic slave trade, people were taken to the Americas, places like Jamaica, Guyana, etc. And they still have these same traditions, telling our stories, telling our history over drums. And then that, shout out to Kool Herc, credited as throwing the first hip hop party in New York, the Bronx in the 70s. He's from Jamaica, so he brought what he was doing, or what he saw as a youngster in Jamaica. He brought those things to 1970s New York. He had his MCs rapping, toasting over the beat, and that's where the MC came from.
I love that. We're going to have a whole different episode about Americans not really liking that,
Oh, the Caribbean connection?
Yeah, there's some that don't really agree with it, but even KRS-One speaks about it.
Yes.
And he's very educated on certain history of our music, not even certain, all history of our music and things like that, But yes, that is a known history fact, so thank you, MikeAll, for sharing that.
Big up the teacher, KRS-One, and Caribbean Connection. Listen to Big Pun featuring Wyclef. Good song.
Jeez, okay. So another thing, I just saw that you were at Heart House for an event with Dalton Higgins.
Yes.
What? And it was called Redefining the Cipher, right?
Well, those are two different ones. Same organization, like Hip Hop Masterclass. Shout out to Dr. Francesca. She's a hip hop professor. She teaches courses with a hip hop theme. She and her team, they put together different educational events. The first one I went to was focused on hip hop journalism. So important to document our history, because we know if document it, somebody else is going to do it, and that's where you get revisionist history, and they change who was really authoring things, who was really creating it. So you gotta make sure that we're documenting our history. And in terms of Canadian black culture, Canadian hip hop, Dalton Higgins has been premier among that. One of the first black journalists to write about hip hop and things of that nature. So he gave us a master class in hip hop journalism, his history with it, And some of the students in attendance were journalist students, so he gave them some advice on how to write and things of that nature. Shout out to Dalton Higgins. He has a lot of great books. Hip Hop World. He has a book about Master T. A lot of good stuff to check out. And then the other event was redefining the cipher. For those who don't know, a cipher is a circle or zero, literally. And in hip hop and in many cultures, indigenous cultures, African cultures, a circle is, the central formation. Huts can be formed in a circle because you think about the equality of it, the meritocracy of it, and it's just life. So that was an event dedicated to honoring women in hip hop. Sorry, I don't remember her name exactly. Maybe you could plug it. I'll send it to you later. But there was a visual artist. She designed 14 paintings to honor 14 women in hip hop, in Canadian hip hop. And the next person designed like a text with infographics. So this night was to honor those two women and all the women that they honored through their artwork.
Wow, that's really cool. That's beautiful. What do you feel about the unity of the city, and what do you feel like there's anything that we can do or focus on when it comes to the unity of in all art forms, in any demographic, but mainly the culture and what it means? Is there anything that you think we can focus on when it comes to the unity of us?
I feel maybe the artists are very united. Once business and commerce comes in, that's when maybe people get a little bit cutthroat and think about competition, and they kind of fail to realize that there doesn't only have to be one at a time. We can have multiple people representing. And this is something Citizen Kane Spade was actually saying at that Redefining the Cipher event. He was saying Toronto, Canada has this weird mentality that only one or few can represent at a time. But no, that's kind of like limiting ourselves. So I think if we kind of of course, make your money. It is a business. Be smart about it. Don't let people take advantage of you. But don't let the drive for money override our artistic integrity and our artistic community. Because if only one person's bubbling, there's no industry, there's no scene. If multiple engines are firing at the same time, that's when you actually have a system and an industry that can thrive and be as successful as America and others. But if we're too only me shine, only one at a time, then it holds us back. And that's why I gotta also shout out art organizations like Rise by Randella Jai, because it's very grassroots. It's such an open, welcoming platform. No hate. It's like the antidote to the screw-faced capital. Very welcoming and supportive crowds. And everybody gets a chance to shine and show what they're about. So I think if we have more of that mentality, it'll bring back more unity in the community.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's a really wholehearted and clear way of showing that we can all support each other, So I agree with that.
If I don't mind me, I want to quote Cardi. In Cardi's Corner, he says, we don't all have to be friends, but if we all get our money, we can all make ends. Something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing it. Like, you shining doesn't stop her from shining or me from shining. And it's better if we make a constellation, the shine is more brilliant, not just one solo star. I didn't ask you your writing process, so I meant to.
Oh, me?
If you wanted to speak on that.
So my writing process, usually it is based on, sometimes I'll just write poetry, and I realized that I wasn't writing. I realized I didn't know that I was writing poetry. I thought I was just writing, just random things. But my main way of writing process is through the inspiration of the production, of the beat. Yeah, because of that dance element I have. It's if I can move, then I can think about what I want to say. So that's usually what happens when I feel inspired by the beat. I usually listen to the beat and I think, what is the mood of this beat? Is it making me feel like I'm walking on a sunny day in LA, or I'm in the cold, or it's a crisp fall day? Or I kind of go with that, and then it makes me feel like I can now write adjectives describing the beat, which makes me give the beat a moment to tell me what it wants to say, because it's not just me, yes. It's also the producer that made the beat, so yes. I work like that. That's cool. That, and then sometimes it just flows and I have a whole song. Sometimes it's just a hook, yes. But I kind of just go with the flow with that. Cool. So that's my personal writing process. But
awesome. Trust the process.
Right, trust the process. Speaking of the process, I want to shout out 1332 because they do have a new series called The Process, where they're showing all different types of artists from History or Nothing Festival and showing the process of that. I am Durali Galaxy featured, but other amazing artists like Zen Soul, Big Double M, Rob Fest, I believe. Again, check out The Process. Check it out on Studio 1332, as well as History or Nothing. Every time we meet up, It's always an educative experience. I really want to emphasize Headucatoz, y'all. If you know any young people, teenagers, anybody, older, doesn't even matter, anyone, tell them to check out the YouTube channel, as well as MikeAll's new song IMC featuring
Fenny Cristo.
Fenny Cristo. I'm gonna keep that. I would love to even have Fenny Cristo and you guys join next time, because there's always so much to talk about when it comes to education. As you say, each one teach one, which a lot of us in the city can understand. And I think the more we come together, the more we can have more conversations like the one we had today. And before we go, we're gonna go into a next little segment quick to show the next wall and see if Mike has any favorites on that wall. But I am Darrell the Galaxy, and this is Nizewhat. This was MikeAll, and so you guys can check him out, and we will see you in the next episode.
Yeah, that's about the actual single there. Then you have another single over there, the blue and white.
Yes. I don't think I know that song, Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, like I said, it's in record pools, so we got everything. They didn't give us just the good stuff only. You get the good, the medium, whatever, you know what I mean? But
yes.
Sometimes some of the records that they would give us, it would take literally a year. Like Genuine's Pony was like for a year before it actually picked up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? I forget his name. The guy from Fushnikins. He has like a crazy flow.
Oh, Chipfu.
Yeah, that's it. Chipfu.
Yeah.
He's
still rapping too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still funny stuff.
My boy Wisecrack's trying to get a collaboration with him.
Right. At Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
The 30th anniversary.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, Infamous. Yeah. A lot of joints are coming.
Infamous, man.
Yes.
Cuban Links, Liquid Swords, Infamous. Those guys are all 95. Yeah. So 30 years. It's crazy.
Yeah. Time goes by quick.
Yo. I like the remix with Method Man. You know I'm a Wu-Tang head. So
yeah, that's the one that's on there.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. That's actually.
Sampling that old school symphony.
Ooh.